I randomly combined NHL teams to form a new super team. I spun a wheel 30 times to figure out who would team up with who. I could only do 15 teams, so I had to leave out Montreal and Arizona. Sorry boys. So let's go over every team real quick. The first two spins have Colorado teaming up with Vegas. Not only do they have an elite forward core, but the defense is by far the best we're going to see. The only question mark here is the goaltending, but I think Robin Leonard could definitely be the guy. Next up is Nashville and Anaheim. This team has a mix of young and old players, a nice defensive core with Yossi and Klingberg leading the way, and the goaltending absolutely elite. You have John Gibson and UC Saros, so you always have someone to rely on. Up next is the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Los Angeles Kings. This is another team that has a mix of young and old players. The forward group's looking solid, while the defense, I think it's lacking a bit, and the goaltending definitely is questionable to say the least. St. Louis is going to be teaming up with the Vancouver Canucks, and this is by far one of the deepest cores. We have the likes of Bo Horvat and Brock Besser on the fourth line. The defensive core, it's above average, and I've seen what Thatcher Demko can do in Sims, so I think this is going to be a sleeper team. The next two teams are going to be the Carolina Hurricanes and the New Jersey Devils. This is the youngest team by far, and they have a lot of nice pieces, but I just don't think they can compete with the likes of Vegas and Colorado. The Minnesota Wild and the New York Islanders are up next. Outside of the top line, this team doesn't have too much offensively. The defense shows a lot of promise, so maybe the combination of defense and goaltending can bail this team out. Buffalo's been struggling for a long time, so they're getting to team up with the Tampa Bay Lightning. Basically, this is a majority of Tampa's core, along with a bit of help from Buffalo. Realistically, this is just Tampa on steroids, so I expect them to be at the top of the league. These two teams met in the playoffs last season as we got Dallas and Calgary meeting up, and I think this is definitely a sleeper team. There really isn't any weaknesses on this team. A solid forward core, a great defensive core, and two goalies that you can definitely rely on. Florida is going to be teaming up with Toronto, and I think this team definitely has a lot of potential, but there is one major thing holding them back. Part of this team is Toronto, so they still might not be able to escape those first round demons. Philly's going to combine with Columbus, and this team just isn't it. Yeah, they have a lot of good players, but at the end of the day, could they really compete with the likes of Buffalo and Tampa and Vegas and Colorado? I think they're just in a different tier. The Rangers are teaming up with Chicago, and I don't know how to feel about this team. All around, they're looking pretty solid. No major weaknesses, but I'm just not sure about them. I guess we'll have to wait and see. The Bruins are getting a bit of help as they're combining with the Winnipeg Jets, and I think these two teams are going to work well together. Boston suits well alongside Winnipeg, and with Halbuck in net, I think they can do some damage. Detroit's teaming up with San Jose, and this team's not going to do much. Unlike Boston and Winnipeg, they don't really mesh well together, so I guess we'll have to wait and see. Seattle's getting a bit of help as they're combining with the Edmonton Oilers, and a forward core that has McDavid and Draisaitl is never going to be bad. The defense, on the other hand, is definitely lacking. Hopefully Jack Campbell can bail them out. And finally, Washington's combining with Ottawa. These two teams are the exact opposite of each other. A forward core that's been together for a long time, and then a forward core from Ottawa that's basically all brand new. The defense, on the other hand, is one of the worst. They're not looking too good. Hopefully Darcy Kemper could save them. Now that we know who's on what team, I'll simulate to the end of the season and we'll see how everyone finishes. When the season came to an end, it should be no surprise that Vegas and Colorado are finishing first with a 32-17-5 record, while Tampa and Buffalo are coming in second with a 27-18-5 record, and rounding out the top three is going to be Carolina and New Jersey, 27-20-4. And at the very bottom of the league, it's the Pittsburgh Penguins and the LA Kings, 18-28-5. Yeah, they just weren't that good. That shouldn't be too much of a surprise though. So quickly, I'm going to go over who led every single team. Forsberg's leading the Ducks and the Predators with 24 goals and 17 assists for 51 points, while Svechnikov's leading the Devils with 44 points. Zibanejad's having a great year, 23 goals and 38 assists for 61 points to lead the Rangers, while Pavelski's picking up 17 goals and 36 assists for 53 points leading the Flames. Over in Vegas, McKinnon's dominating the league, 33 goals and 50 assists for 83 points, while Kaprizov, he's doing his thing in Minnesota with 52 points. Ovi's having a dominant season, picking up 69 points, consisting of 35 goals and 34 assists, and those 35 goals are actually leading the entire league. Johnny Gaudreau had a great season as well, 15 goals and 46 assists for 61 points, and although this team sucked, Evgeny Malkin, he had a great year, picking up 63 points. Timo Meier did what he could, 16 goals and 29 assists for 45 points, while Connor McDavid, of course he's fantastic, 22 goals and 52 assists for 74 points. Buchnevich was a bit disappointing with the Canucks, 16 goals and 25 helpers for 41 points, while Stamkos with the Sabres, he was dominant, shouldn't be a surprise there, 32 goals and 35 assists for 67 points. It doesn't matter what team he's on, Austin Matthews is going to dominate, 33 goals and 39 assists for 62 points, and to round out all the teams, leading the Winnipeg Bruins is going to be Brad Marchand, 22 goals and 37 assists for 59 points. Speaking of Winnipeg, I'm trying to pass them in YouTube subscribers, so if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe. Taking a look at the entire league, Nathan McKinnon's leading the way, and taking a look at defense, Victor Hedman did his thing, 4 goals and 50 assists for 54 points. And leading all goaltenders in wins, that's going to be Fredrik Anderson, 30, with a 924 save percentage and 276 goals against. So in our so-called first round, we have the Oilers taking on the Panthers and the Rangers taking on the Preds. The reason it looks like this is I'm using one of the European leagues so I can have 15 teams. Yeah, I don't really know what's going on, to be fair. So in the first round, the Oilers are falling in 3 games while the Rangers are getting swept. I mean, it was a 2-game sweep, so we don't really count it as a sweep, I guess. Tyler Johnson led the way for the Rangers with 1 goal. Yeah, nothing else to say about that. Well, the Nuge, he was fantastic for the Oilers. 3 goals, 2 assists, 5 points. Too bad they couldn't get past the first round. In the second round, we got Flames versus Bruins, Devils versus Capitals, Sabres versus Panthers, and Avs versus Preds. When the second round came to an end, Boston's falling in 5 while the Capitals are being swept. The Panthers put up a good fight, but they're falling in 7, while the Avs, they're getting upset in 6 games. Kyle Connor did what he could for the Bruins, picking up 1 goal and 3 assists for 4 points, while DeBrincat, he got 4 points in 4 games. I mean, the team got swept, so it doesn't really matter how well you did. Mitch Marner was fantastic, 4 goals and 11 assists for 15 points. Keep in mind, he did play in our so-called first round, that's why his numbers are a bit higher. While Rantanen, he just played in 6 games, but he still picked up 11 points. Taking a look at our conference finals, we have the Devils versus the Flames and the Sabres versus the Preds. When this round came to an end, the Devils are falling in 6 games, while the Predators are falling in a sweep. Zegras was fantastic for the Predators though, 7 goals and 6 assists for 13 points in his first playoff appearance, while Platt, he's picking up 2 goals and 8 assists for 10 points for the Devils. So here we are heading into the Stanley Cup final. We have the Tampa Bay Sabres taking on the Dallas Flames. When the series came to an end, nobody can stop Tampa Bay as the Flames are getting swept and they're hoisting the cup. Pavelski was alright for the Flames, 5 goals and 6 assists, 11 points, nothing to be ashamed about, while Victor Hedman, 17 assists for 17 points, and he's leading all postseason scorers. And Vasilevsky, it should be no surprise, he's hoisting the cup, 12 wins with a 931 save percentage and a 259 goals against. Even when all the teams were combined, Tampa still finds a way to come out on top. I guess that just proves they're the best team in the league. I'll leave that one up for debate.